Hey, this is Mad Movie Mark of the Mad Movie Mark Movie Review. Thank you for joining me as I review the 1992 drama Passion Fish.
I didn't ask for the anal probe.
Uh, okay. I'm a happily married man, so I wasn't offering that, but I will jot that down in case anyone in the future needs that information. I am reviewing every movie that has 100% fresh rating on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm giving them all a score of 1 to 10. After I watch them and score them all, I will rank them from worst to best. I started in the 1920 silent movie era, and now I am at 1992 with Passion Fish. This movie has 100% fresh rating from the critics and an 82% fresh rating from the audience. It stars Mary McDonald as May Alice. She is also in the movie, and I remember her best from the movie Independence Day, where she played the president's wife. It also stars Alfre Woodward as Chantelle and David Straitham as Rennie. This movie was nominated for 2 Academy Awards. Best Actress in a Leading Role for Mary McDonald. She lost that year to Emma Thompson for Howard's End, which I've never seen. And also Best Writing Screenplay. So this movie is typical of a lot of the 90s movies I've watched so far, or at least the last few 90s movies I've watched, where they're decent movies, but they almost feel like they belong on like a Saturday afternoon KTLA, for me, Channel 5, movie of the week type of thing. What really brings this movie down for me is it's got, and maybe I'm nitpicking here, but it's got really weird outro sounds for scenes.
Then go peddle it somewhere else.
That don't really, I mean, it's supposed to be set in Louisiana, but it doesn't really make sense to what's going on in the movie. And it also has weird music in the movie also that just kind of leaves your head scratching. There's a scene where these three main stars are on a boat and they're going through like the swamplands of Louisiana, and it plays like a Spanish song. Which I don't understand. Maybe it's just like, I don't know Louisiana culture. Maybe this is normal in Louisiana. But the song it's playing, it just seems kind of weird. It just seems out of place. Besides that, there's another couple things in this movie which I did not enjoy. One of which is, so the main character, May Alice, she was involved in a car accident that left her paralyzed from the waist down, essentially. The first part of the movie is her trying to deal with this, deal with her life now the way it is while she's in the hospital. They have her on a lot of drugs. She wakes up a lot. She forgets what happened. She forgets the accident. And she's kind of just over being in the hospital, and she wants to go home. Once she goes home, she has a few caretakers who come in to look after her. They're all pretty much stereotypical of what they're showing on screen. Like, there's a Russian woman who plays like a big burly Russian woman who's not going to take any guff from anyone. There's a girl who's she seems like she's a little mentally unstable. They all talk about their problems to her, and it upsets her because she doesn't want to hear their problems, because she has her own problems. She is sitting on a couch all day watching TV with really nothing to do. She's kind of going stir crazy. At points, it seems like she likes staying on the couch, but at other points you can tell that she doesn't want this to just be her life anymore. The final caretaker who comes in, her name is Chantelle. She is a woman who has never done this before. This is her first time being a caretaker. She really needs this job, and you know that because she says it all the time. Whenever she makes a mistake, whenever she goes out on a date, whenever she's out longer than she's supposed to be, she always comes home and she says, "I need this job, please don't fire me." It's always the same thing, like, "I'm not going to fire you." She also helps May Alice get out of the house. So she takes May Alice to like this lake that's on her house. She takes her to this photography room that she has where she can develop photography. So she really gets her out of the house, and they develop this great friendship with each other. Later on in the movie, we meet Rennie, who probably is the character I have the most issue with in this movie. Not because of the actor or because the way he plays the part. It's just because how the part is written. So he's a man who is married. He has like 3 or 4 children, and he had this crush on May Alice when they were younger, Now, she being like this soap opera star, she never noticed him really. She didn't, it seemed like she kind of had this better than thou type personality when she was a soap opera star. But now that she is confined to a wheelchair, she's finally seeing the world around her for what it is. She's finally seeing all the things that she was never able to see before. And she can see that this guy has a crush on her. So she like pursues this relationship because Chantelle tells her that she should pursue this relationship. So they go out on this date on the boat that I was talking about earlier, where like that weird music's playing. The boat ends. Her and Chantelle go on the date. Chantelle goes too, just to kind of like chaperone. The boat breaks down late at night. May Alice says, "Oh, I'm sorry. Your wife must be like in tears. She must be horrified that you're out so late." And he says, "No, no. She knows I'm with you. She doesn't care. It doesn't matter," which is kind of weird to me. And then later on in the movie, May Alice decides that she is going to like really pursue this relationship.
How's your family?
They're fine.
Rennie?
Yeah?
You don't have to have a job to do or something to fix to come over and visit.
Maybe I'll do that then.
Do it soon, okay?
By suggesting that they should go out on more dates. And this kind of irked me the wrong way, I guess, because if he is correct, so the story about him being out and his wife not caring, that's just his side of the story. Maybe she doesn't know. Maybe she does care. Like, we're just hearing what he says about the situation because he had a crush on May Alice. He stated before in the movie that he's not happy in his relationship. It's like a loveless relationship. They don't do anything. She's very Christian. She is on him about everything. There's a lot of the rules have changed. He's not allowed to do certain stuff. He seems very unhappy in this relationship. So maybe it's not okay. But we don't know that. We only know his side of the story. And it could be that he just has a wife and kids at home that he's just like abandoning so he could date this woman. I don't know. But the fact that she's pursuing a relationship with this guy just seemed really weird to me. I don't understand why. I don't know if this is based on a book. Maybe it is. I haven't done any research. But I don't understand why this man has to be married with kids as part of the plot line, because there's no reason for it. Like, he never has any struggle between should he do this or should he not do this. She doesn't really have that much struggle with it either. She decides fairly easily and fairly early on that she's going to have this relationship with him. So she obviously doesn't seem like she really cares that much. So why make this guy married with kids, and why make her a homewrecker when this whole movie we're trying to build her as someone who's kind of growing as a person? She's been growing this whole movie as someone who is learning to live with this new disability. She's learning to get out there on her own. She's learning to like live this life, and we're rooting for her throughout the whole movie. But then when she starts pursuing this relationship, I'm not rooting for her anymore. It's like I have a completely different feeling about who this person is. And also there's a relationship later on with Chantelle where she meets this guy and he is very forward with her. He's very into her. He's pursuing her through the whole movie. Wherever she is, he ends up, basically. He shows up everywhere that she is. He later tells her that he has like all these wives, ex-wives and all these children. And it's a relationship that I don't like believe in.
You made me married 25 times, got more kids than I feel that close. How am I supposed to trust you?
I never asked you to trust me, Dom. Just want you to be with me.
Like, I don't believe that this relationship would ever happen in real life. I don't know why, it's just not believable to me. It happens very quickly. She seems to get into this relationship for I don't know what reason. Like, his reason's obvious. What's her reason for getting in this relationship? I have no idea. It's just like it's essential to the plot later on, so that's why she's in this relationship. But it's really kind of out of nowhere for no reason, this relationship. We then learn later on that she has a child and that she messed up a lot when she was younger. She got in with the wrong crowds. I think she did drugs when she was younger. And therefore, her dad now has her child, full custody. He is unrelenting. He is unwilling to give her any more visits with her child until she like keeps a job, until she really like shows what she can do. Now later on in the movie, we meet a lot of May Alice's former co-stars with her soap opera. We meet friends of hers from when she was younger, and her manager comes, I think it's her manager, comes to her house later on and says, hey, we want to bring you back on the soap opera. But it's in a very like demeaning role that she's going to play, and it's not like that empowerment role. Now that she feels like she's empowered in her position, she's empowered as a human, she's regained her life back, and she doesn't want to play a role of someone who doesn't have that same power that she has. She doesn't want to play the role of a stereotypical person in a wheelchair, someone who you're going to feel sorry for. She doesn't want that. And also, if she takes this role, she has to move back to New York. Now, at the end of the movie, we learn that she's not going to take this role for that reason, and because she wants Chantelle to stay with her so that she can eventually get her daughter back. And that's basically the entire movie. That being said, the music was it just really caught me off guard in this movie. The sound effects for the outros caught me off guard. It really kind of took me out of the movie. I absolutely hated the fact that she was pursuing a man who was married with children. And like I said, the movie only shows his side of the story. We have to believe that what he's telling us is true. That his wife really doesn't care about him going out at night. That she really does have all these rules that he has to live by, that he doesn't really want to live by. But we never see the other side of the story. So if we go by his side of the story, sure, maybe the relationship's not going to work out. Maybe they're going to get divorced anyway. Maybe this is just his way of moving on from a relationship that's not going to work. Sure, but we don't know that. I want to know the perspective of her perspective, and the perspective of the kids that he's going to be leaving if he leaves his wife. It's just, I don't know. It's a very hard position for me to take, that I think that she should pursue this guy, because I really don't think she should, if I'm going to be perfectly honest. And then the other love story with Chantelle, I didn't think that was very believable. I thought it was kind of, I don't know, I didn't think it was needed. I feel like it was just there to add another story to the movie. Sure, she's probably had bad relationships in her life. Sure, maybe this is a stable relationship. But how can you believe that this is a stable relationship? How can you believe that this is something that she should really pursue? And how can you believe that this is something that's going to be good for her if you learn that he goes through women, like Canty? If you learn that he's a player and he plays women and he has all these divorces and all these ex-wives and all these children, why would you root for someone who is a single mother, who is trying to get her life back together, who is trying to do the right things for her family? Why would you root for this type of relationship for that kind of person? I don't know. I can't explain it, and it bothered me while I was watching the movie. Like always, maybe I missed some stuff. Maybe there were things that I didn't notice. Maybe these opinions are completely out of left field and they're not warranted. I don't know. But this is just how I felt throughout the movie. I mean, the acting was good. I'll give it that. But it wasn't for me. This isn't a movie that I can say is a great movie. There were elements in it that were nice. There's nice camera shots. There's nice views of a river. I like when they're floating on the lake, even though I don't like the music. I like the cinematography that's going on during this scene. I do like the fact that the movie tries to empower her. It's not a movie where she feels sorry for herself through the whole movie. It's not a movie where she is just down and she can't lift herself up. It is a movie where they try to give her, they give her a new life, to breathe new life back in her, to show her the world around her, to show her what she has. I like that idea. I just don't think it was executed as well as it could have been, but it is a good theme for a movie. I do like that. So that being said, I'll give it a 7.5. That's kind of like I consider for these reviews an 8 to be average. So I'll say 7.5 is a little below average, which is what I think this movie was. Anyway, I hope you join me for my next review, which I am also going to record tonight, and that is Searching for Bobby Fischer. Thank you. Have a great day.